Welcome, everyone. I'm Alicia, and together with Stacy and Teresa, we're going to have our third session for the Best Workplaces for Women series. Today, we have the honor to invite Amanda Fei from Agilent, China, talking about leading inspiration.
Thank you, Alicia. That's great. And welcome, everyone. We're glad that you could join us. I'll just quickly go around and make the introductions. My name's Teresa Norton. I run a business with my son, Sam, called StarMaker. We work with leaders and teams on using theater as a format for helping them with their communication. And we're a best practice partner of Great Place to Work, and very pleased to be with you today, and grateful that we've got Amanda Fei with us from Agilent. It's a great story that she has to tell. Also, we've got with us today from the University of Hong Kong, Dr. Stacy Lee Ford, who researches gender, generation, and leadership. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you. Great to be here. And Amanda's story really is exciting.
And we've also got Alicia, you COO of Great Place to Work, Greater China, and we're very pleased to have you with us. You're going to wrap things up and tell us just why Agilent is such a wonderful place for women to work. Sure. We're going to get things started here by using a tool that was created by a colleague and friend of mine, Ken Adams. It's called the Story Spine, and it's a wonderful way to explore a story. It means that we can get a beginning, a middle, and an end, and look at how the story might change if only a few things didn't fall into place. And certainly, Amanda's story is one worth telling. So I'll begin. Once there was a global company called Agilent that supplied laboratory and medical equipment to customers around the world. In 2002, they decided to open their only assembly final instrument manufacturing site in China, and they decided to do it in Shanghai. And every day for the next 10 years, the team worked diligently to develop new products and create value for their customers. And as new projects progressed, more and more talented people were hired. And as the Agilent team in Shanghai grew larger and larger, they had less and less space in which to produce their products. And this was causing some big headaches for the management team. Until one day, a procurement manager named Amanda had an idea. And although she was not a manufacturing development strategist, she did have a very good understanding of different operation models within that industry. Amanda thought maybe her idea just might get rid of the headaches. So when the vice president of the company came for a site visit, Amanda shared her idea, elaborating on industry practices and pointing out the pros and cons. And because of that, the vice president assigned Amanda to lead a case study review. And with the VP's support, Amanda formed a confidential project team of engineering, production, procurement, and finance. And because of that, the team needed to develop criteria for industry sourcing, evaluation, and ranking of non-core outsourcing candidates, creating a financial model for in-house versus outsourcing financial analysis. And because of that, Amanda and her team worked tirelessly for months on this highly confidential project to check and cross-check their research. Until finally, they had worked out a comprehensive business case, which they presented to top management, who quickly decided to kick off the project. And so production space was freed up, operators could be available to work on new products, and there was less inventory to be stored, so they had higher production flexibility. Today, Amanda's idea has become a reality that is considered best practice and shared throughout the Agilent instrument manufacturing sites. Well, brava, Amanda. It's a great story. And, clearly you're a solutions-focused, creative problem solver. And look, today, this is what every team in the world is seeking at the moment. I've got a question for you. When you formed your team to research your idea, were there specific ways you interacted with them so that they had the courage to share their ideas with you?
Yeah, definitely. We know that this is the first time for such a team to this kind of business case study. So we set several ground rules before we started the investigation so that people can share their ideas freely. So first of all, we know that we set it as a confidential project. So for a manufacturing site, the word outsourcing is somehow sensitive. So it might mislead people and lead to some, I would say, offensive, defensive thinkings. So we set this as a highly confidential project to only with the limited team members and the senior management. So second is we set a very clear objective for this project is to investigate if this is beneficial for Agilent Shanghai. So this is not a project to execute the outsourcing. So we are doing a business case study. And frankly speaking, later on, we find out that it's of mutual interest to both the senior management team and the functional managers to know the answer. So all of them are very interested to know that. So third, we also set several ground rules among the team. Be open-minded, because not limited to your own function. Respect others' opinions, because we like to think bigger, to think out of your own function. And also we be objective and to let the data say, not bring in your personal perception or your functional perceptions. Right. And also, there's very important is we set a very frequent review with the senior management team, because we like to know their thinking, their ideas, suggestions to us. And later on, we found that it's really important or motivate the team to know that there's a high attention at the senior management team to this business case study, which also motivated them very much. Actually, motivated us very much for this project. So later on, you'll see that we present a comprehensive business study case, and with all the data we supplied, the conclusion we supplied, the project got kicked off very immediately.
Well, listen, I mean, I'm hearing you say that it was important for people to keep open minds, to think outside of their own function, which is exactly what you did when you stepped up. And that's the next question here is, what if you hadn't had the courage to say, look, I'm not an expert in this particular arena, but I've got an idea? How would the story have been different?
Yeah, so we know that I was a procurement manager, so it's not my responsibility to be part of the manufacturing strategy. But I think that it's Agilent culture that encouraged me to bring ideas and discuss with the VP during the one-on-one. And today, if I think back, if I didn't ask that question, I think there might be there still be solutions afterward to resolve this problem. There might be a top-down decision by management team to have someone investigate outsourcing anyway. But definitely, I will not be the lead, because I'm probably not the best person for that. Or it might be a result by some traditional ways, like redesigning the production space, office space to save more space for the production line, to hire more operators, the traditional ways. But I don't think that I will be part of that solution either. So if I didn't ask that question, I didn't raise this up, I thought that I would lose opportunity to learn new things. And I would lose opportunity to understand other functions, processes, their responsibilities, and all these did help a lot in the future collaborations with them. And also, I would lose the opportunity of my self-development, which is right now, if I think back, very important, and for me in my career path development. So I think that it's a simple ask questions, but it does help a lot in my career path.
Look, I mean, aside from just the fact that you have answered this so graciously and saying that it might have been solved by somebody else eventually anyway, I think what's important is that you have modeled for the other women in your organization that speaking up, you get listened to at Agilent. And I think that's wonderful. I'm going to hand over to Dr. Ford from the University of Hong Kong. Stacy, anything pops out to you that you want to chime in here with?
So many things pop out to me. Honestly, Amanda's story is a fabulous and layered story of what it means to think locally, locally, regionally, and globally all at the same time. And she was navigating a lot of relationships, even as she was talking about her own journey managing and working with the team. One thing that is particularly important for me is when she talks about what might have been. Studies show that the what might have been question is still a real issue for many women and some men. We want to be careful about generalizations, certainly, but what we do know is that women still tend to underestimate their abilities, while most men tend to overestimate their abilities. So I think if we can bottle what Amanda is teaching us and remind everybody, if you have an idea, speak up. And again, from an institutional standpoint, it sounds to me like Agilent has structured its own institutional setting so that people really can speak up. It's a balancing act.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dr. Ford. This is a perfect time to hand over to Alicia Tung, who is COO for Great Place to Work Greater China. Alicia, you can put this in a nutshell for us, I think. Why is Agilent a best workplace for women?
I am really, every time my interaction with Agilent, even myself is very motivated. I think that speaks a lot of this company. I have the privilege to actually visit it several times in their different offices and site, met all kinds of people, female, gentlemen, or managers, employees, all levels. But if there's one thing I could summarize as the most important thing I realized in their organization, is they do walk the talk. They don't talk about values. They live in their values. So there are several things that I have learned and I would love to share on behalf of Agilent China that a lot of people might heard about those, but to make it true will take some effort and teamwork. And I believe what Stacy just summarized and also what Amanda just shared told us, it takes the entire team, the company, everyone to endorse, to honor what we value about. So for example, they have a practice that I love very much. There's a website named fairygodboss.com. That is their job opening site for everyone. Equal job application opportunities we talked about before. And there's another significant number I would like to share. Overall, there are 45% of female employees in Agilent China, but there are 50% of female leaders in this company, directors, managers, and above. So that's an amazing number as well. There are also more policies that they are implementing everywhere. Working hours, flexibilities, extra leaves to female employees that have already implemented from years ago, not only in 2020. And one on the top that personally I favor most is they are very active in social media. They have their own WeChat official account to share all of the female ladies and women's stories that not only can be visited by their employees, but as well open to public. This is a practice they are sharing, they are contributing back to the society and ensure not only within the company, but also to the entire industry or even the female genders in the entire market that can be also inspired. So Agilent China, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, Alicia, for sharing that. It's time for us to wrap up here. Amanda, you were the heroine of our story and a great role model for the other women who work with you in the company, a company that has 50% of its management team are women. That's a great place for women to work. Dr. Ford, thank you for being with us, and thank you for being with us today. If you're viewing from home or office or wherever you are, we hope to see you again soon as we find out more about best workplaces for women as part of the Great Place to Work story. Thank you.